Okay. Vertical. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, Ming, come true, please. Let's go. Holy shit. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Ah!
7K dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking at Mythical Weekend 5 in Arena. She's only level 40 and I think she will be only level 40 for a long time. So for this video, I've split it into two parts. The first part we'll be looking at her with Speed and Counter build. And the second part, it will be Lethal and HP. So you have a very good comparison of how you can gear her. And I know a lot of top tier players are using her with Lethal and HP builds. The thing about this is that I'm not competing in a top tier, so I can afford to try things out, and maybe you can too. So that's why I have offered two different kind of builds. But we'll look at her skill set first. For her passive, she increases physical attack of offensive type allies by 30%, provides complete freeze immunity, and also has a 6-turn immortal form, during which she increases her crit rate by 50%. So first of all, this completely counters Galidus, since her freeze immunity is for as long as she is on the field, and it's very hard to take her down due to her 6-turn zombie stage. At this point in the game, honestly, a 6-turn immortality is impossible to get rid of unless you take her down really early, which we will discuss later when evaluating her gear. And her top skill, she deals physical damage equal to 250% to 4 enemies, ignore defense, and also deals additional damage to universal enemies. So unlocking her exclusive item at level 42 will also let this skill reduce 1 turn buff duration. So she's using her bottom skill now. This skill actually does 200% to 4 enemies and applies the Agni's Flame, and also decreases block rate by 50% for 6 turns if you unlock her exclusive item. So I'm sure if you guys already watched the dungeon video, you will have a rough idea of how the Agni's Flame works. It is actually a permanent partial burn and bleed combined into one. And it is triggered even when other heroes damage the enemy, so it's not just from FAI's attacks. And I will point this out to you guys later in the next match. It is a very strong debuff which scales depending on FAI's attack, which is why we actually prefer if you have an attack increase duo on her. So she just used her Awaken skill not too long ago, and this is basically a buff from her bottom skill and nothing too different, except that she ignores defense with her exclusive item, and it also hits 5 targets. So just a few thoughts about FAI, especially with her top skill dealing more damage to universal type allies. I think the variation in unit types in Arena is pretty balanced now. We have 1 defensive unit, 1 to 2 magic units, 1 to 2 universal units, and also offensive as well. And in my case, of course, I'm using 3 offensive units who will all get the physical attack buff from FAI. So that's pretty neat, and it doesn't make this skill too OP and pretty useful. And I think overall for FAI, to be honest, her actual damage multipliers are not that fantastic. 200% for an AoE is actually 100% points lesser than what Milia can do. However, FAI's insaneness comes from the Agni's Flame debuff, which can only be removed with the Celestial Accessory or by a skill effect, So these are all the obstacles that players may not have yet in order to clear this debuff. So we're now going to evaluate her with her Speed and Counter build. The reason why I'm using this build is because her effect attack actually reduces defense of the enemies targeted by 30% for 3 turns. And here she just used her top skill. You can see that the damage is pretty alright. Okay, nothing too amazing, but maybe because she's also on the front line, she hasn't actually used her effect attack yet, I believe. So this is her Awaken skill, also not too much damage, but she does land the Agni's Flame. So I want you guys to observe this moment. Miss is going to attack with her Awaken skill, which is already very powerful, and for a very brief moment you can see a little red damage just flew up from Chris. And that is actually FAI's Agni's Flame debuff. It dealt about 10,486 fixed damage alone. So can you imagine every skill hitting after the Agnes Flame is gonna deal this additional 10,000 fixed damage? Now this is a big deal, especially it also applies to basic attacks. So every counter landed on an enemy with the Agnes Flame debuff is going to, trigger it and cast 10,000 fixed damage. So that is why FAI's attack needs to be as high as possible, which is why I've also given her max polished weapons so that I buff her physical attack to the maximum possible, and of course for jewels I've also given her the physical attack jewel to increase the Agnes Flame fixed damage. And I think her effect attack is pretty useful because it decreases defense, and I want you guys to observe this part where she lands the effect attack on the enemy Tara. And now compare the melee damage on Tara to other heroes. It is about 2 times more damage. 13,000 versus 5,000 in the backline, and even now it's about 8,000 on other heroes. So 13,000 from 8,000, kind of like a 1.5 times increase. And that is a very big deal, okay? Which is why I actually kind of prefer the effect attack speed build on her and the counter build. And the fact that she does have a 6-turn immortality actually allows you to use her like Chris, who uses a speed and counter build as well. And Chris has a very painful effect attack himself. So now we're going to look at the Lethal and HP build. The Lethal and HP build basically gives FAI more bulk overall, and this is also good because it prolongs her living state before her immortal form. So the later the immortal form comes, the better. And of course, if you use the Lethal build, in fact, as I said, most top players are using, you do significantly increase her skill damage, as you will see in a while. Ultimately, again, I have to stress that you want to give her maximum polished weapons as much as possible because you want to maximize the Agnes Flame damage. Going on to other parts of her build, I also have increased awakening gauge and increased skill use chance on her. So this is just to try to get her to land the Agnes Flame earlier, because sometimes she doesn't even need to use her skills and she already has her awakened skill ready. Yep, so that is a good thing. And increased skill use chance basically also trying to increase the chances of her landing the Agnes Flame. And you realize that even though I used a speed set, I didn't give her speed jewel because Tara is still my attack leader, and FAI is really just there for the countering. And the last jewel slot, actually, you can give her skill use chance, as I said, or cooldown or reflect immunity depending on what you think she needs the most. For accessory at this point, all 3 special rings, the Guardian, Willful and Berserker, are all good bases for her. Guardian and Willful ring basically prolongs her bulk before immortal phase, and Berserker ring basically just also increases her physical attack at 1 HP, making her Agnes Flame even crazier. So of course the Berserker ring is the best, but the others will do too, especially for free-to-play players. Substats wise, I think the Height substat, the 100% block substat, the debuff cleanse substat, Evil Eye, and Isabella's Vigor are all top tier substats right now. And beyond level 42, you may even want to give her the Gallada's Might substat, which increases her buff duration reduction up to 2. And that will make her deal with enemy FAIs or suitors even better. So here we are facing off a FAI team. This is probably one of the first 5 matches that I faced. And you're gonna witness here that my miss actually brought down the enemy FAI all the way to immortal phase already. So bulk wise, if you don't gear your FAI that well, she will go into immortal phase very early. And that of course will not be a good thing, because then throughout the whole match your enemy can just reduce your buff duration. And yeah, I think she's already down to 2 to 3 turns actually. Here I'm gonna cast the Agnes Flame, and the flame successfully lands. And of course you also saw the additional damage done to Milia when FAI uses her basic attack. So it's a lot of efficiency, and that's why I kind of like the counter build, because whenever FAI counters and the enemy already has the flame on, it's a guaranteed 10,000 fixed damage done onto the enemy. So yeah, enemies do have very high block rate currently, and I'm glad that she does have the 50% reduction in block rate. Even though Mist already has a 30% reduction, this 50% reduction is just gonna be even better. And actually Tara herself also has the 50% reduction in block rate after she transforms. So with Tara and FAI together, your enemy's block rate should be constantly pushed down. Also for traits, for FAI, mainly resistant focus, you will want to pick the resistances for trending CCs like stun, death, burn and silence, and also remember to remove freeze resist from your heroes because FAI already covers that aspect. So I think I haven't touched on this at all in my previous videos, but for pets wise, I think Brand and Brawn and Awaken You are very good pets for her because they buff her damage a lot more. And perhaps even Erin is good because Erin provides an increase in physical attack which makes her Agnes Flame even more painful. And you realize that in my team I'm actually using Cult, and I never really talked about the whole team concept yet. So for Cult here, I'm trying to use her armor destruction and damage received increase to also support FAI in terms of, when she deals damage, and of course not just FAI but my melee as well. So Cult is here for a supporting role, and of course it would be best if she used her skills. But notice this moment when my FAI lands the attack, 200,000 damage. This is after Cult has landed her damage received increase debuff, so it is making a significant difference because of a 50% increase in crit rate, and also because I'm on a lethal build. So let me know what you think in the comments, and of course I know it's very hard to pull for FAI. I wish you all the best. You can follow the tip in the start of the video and use Ming and try and see how it goes. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more guys. Thank you so much and see you.